Hey everybody, we'll get started here in a couple minutes. Just waiting for people to hop on. Hey guys, welcome back to the Outdoor Learning Center. We have a fun show planned for you guys today. Tiffany has a special guest that she's going to bring over here. And can anybody guess what this critter is? So that's the question today. Do you guys know what that critter is? Also, we have people that are holding the chat down for me, so if you have any things that you're wondering, please put it in the chat box. And I'm going to say hello to Cheenie. Is that Cheenie a kiddo or Cheenie the school?
The city or school. There's a first, third, and fifth grader from Cheenie.
Oh my goodness. Hello, Cheenie, Washington. Thanks for logging on, guys. So my question was, if you saw what Tiffany was holding in her hand, did you know what it was? And today our talk's all about bugs in your backyard. So we actually have pet Madagascar hissing cockroaches, and that's what Tiffany was holding. I'm going to talk to you just a real short amount of time about what makes an insect, and then I'm going to show you guys some of the insects that we have around here, and we're going to end with teaching you guys how to make a bug hotel, and that hopefully you guys can have access to more insects in your backyard and do some investigations. This is the perfect time to see insects because obviously winter is coming and they do some kind of unique behaviors while they're waiting for winter to come. So we're going to start with bugs in our backyard. And just in case you're wondering what makes an insect, it is a three-parted critter. It has 6 legs, so pairs of 2s, 3 of those. They have a thorax, and all insects have a head, and then they also have an abdomen. And this is a picture of a cricket. So you guys can see the abdomen, the thorax, and the head. Insects will look different, but we have this picture here. We're going to talk about ladybugs more today. Maybe we could take a look at their body parts. And, oh, whoops, I'm on the wrong screen. So, arthropod is an invertebrate. Invertebrate means they don't have a backbone. So you and I have a backbone on our back. They actually have an exoskeleton, so their skeleton's on the outside of their body. They have a segmented body, meaning coming in parts and pieces. And they have jointed appendages, so their legs can move around. There's 4 categories of arthropods. There are spiders and scorpions, and a lot of times people think that spiders and insects are the same. They're not. Crustaceans, which are kind of like crabs and things like that. Insects, which we're going to talk about today. And things that are extinct, trilobites. And maybe you guys have studied fossils in your life. Trilobites, the only way you can study a trilobite is by studying fossils. There's over 1 million types of different arthropods, but 90% of that million are insects, and that's why we're going to talk about insects today. So there are places to look for bugs. You guys might know this already, but really easily, a lot of you maybe have turned over a rock or a log and found insects. Maybe pill bugs is kind of a common one, but they kind of live everywhere in a lot of different habitats. So you'll find them up in trees. You can find them in the grass. You can find them, like I mentioned before, under rocks, in your gardens, and streams. And today we are going to talk a lot about insects that are in your gardens. I have a garden at home, although right now it seems like the weeds are winning the war against me. But gardens actually get a lot of benefits from insects. So we're going to talk about gardens today. And some of my favorite insects, obviously, in the garden are Aphids are not my favorite. Aphids are actually an insect that will eat all your garden vegetables. If you have those, you don't want them. But the best thing about that is that ladybugs love to eat aphids. So if you have ladybugs, your garden's looking good. Snails, butterflies, and bees. And I know we talked a lot about bees this summer. Bees are really good at pollinating flowers. So without bees, we would not have food to eat. Oh, I see Gavin is here and Hannah, Rhett and Lincoln. How are you guys doing? Miss you terribly. Remember, if you guys have questions, shoot them out in the chat. So we're going to talk about ladybugs. And the reason I picked ladybugs is I think that they're pretty easy to find. In fact, here at Outdoor Learning Center on the playground by the school, my kids were out walking and they found, how many would you say, Stella? 1,000 ladybugs who were getting ready to hibernate for winter. So I'm going to point my camera down so you guys can see. They're kind of crawling all over the place. We'll see how good this shows up. So Stella went out and collected some of the ladybugs that she found. Some of the myths that people see, maybe Stella's going to grab this and see if she can help me. Show it. So Stella's going to get it zoomed in for you. People always think that ladybugs are all girls. They are not actually all females. That wouldn't work in the animal world. You have to have a male and female. They are not as old as they have many spots. So if you count a ladybug and it has 6 spots, it is not a 6-year-old ladybug. Different species of ladybugs have different amounts of spots on them. So if you find one that has 10 spots, it might be, I have some different examples here, a 15-spotted ladybug, which is kind of funny. I have a picture of a 15-spotted ladybug. So I have some questions. Are ladybugs good luck? I kind of think that they are good luck because, like I said before, if you're growing any sort of vegetables and you have aphids, they will actually eat a lot of aphids, and aphids will eat my vegetables, so I would consider them good luck. And why are there big swarms of bugs that come out of nowhere? And I'm wondering, do you mean swarms of ladybugs or bugs in general? Let's talk a little bit about what I know. So insects go through a life cycle. So they'll start out as an egg, turn into a larva, they'll pupate, and then they'll grow into a flying thing or crawling thing. So if you happen to come along when a bunch of pupas are hatching out, they all probably were in the same area, and once they hatch out, it will happen all together. So that might be why you see swarms of them. Ladybugs often will hibernate together in the wintertime, and that's why you'll see a bunch of them together this time of the year. So I hope that answered your question about why you might see swarms. Some bugs like temperature. So at our house, there's about a temperature of like 70 degrees that we start hearing the crickets. And if bugs like a certain temperature, that might change their behavior too. So it's the perfect temperature to come out and fly or hatch. That might be it. I would invite you that if you see a swarm of bugs, think about for a second, what's the weather like? What's the temperature like? What do I notice around me? And then if you see it happen again, think back to the first time you saw it. So it's an investigation you're doing all on your own. So you as scientists can make those investigations and then tell me what you have found out in your study. So I'm going to show you some examples. So if you want to see a ladybug egg, they kind of look like this. And what you might see, now this leaf is not life size. Okay, you'll see it's as big as my thumb, if not bigger. So you have to imagine a much smaller leaf. But on the bottom of it, the ladybugs will lay their eggs. And so it'll just look like little tiny, I'm talking tiny, tiny, probably the size of a pen tip. You'll see a bunch of eggs together like that. And then those will be eggs for about 3 to 10 days. This is my favorite part of the ladybug life cycle that no one ever knows about. They turn into a larva that looks like this. And once you know what they look like, you'll start seeing them everywhere. So we have bushes here at the Outdoor Learning Center if you've ever visited. And in the springtime, it'll be covered with these little ladybug larvae. And then those are about a month. And then they go into their pupa stage here. So think about like a butterfly goes into its cocoon. And these are complete metamorphosis insects. So they go through a huge change. And they will grow on the leaf, again, very tiny. That takes about 30 days. So 1 month, as long as nothing comes along and eats it or cuts down its leaf. And then they hatch out into our friend, the ladybug. So we talked about insects have 6 legs. So he's missing a leg, but pretend 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They have a head, and you can't really see the thorax very well here. It'd be right in here, but it's tiny. I'm trying to see how it looks on the screen. And then his abdomen, or her abdomen, is there. Now, ladybugs fly. So underneath the hard shell are their wings. And we have a really cool video I'll have, make sure we put on Facebook, of a slow motion of a ladybug taking off so you guys can see how precious their wings are. So what I want to show you guys now is we have a caterpillar, I think, Stella. Can we show the caterpillar, Stella? Just take off the whole top. Bring it on over. So when Stella was out collecting ladybugs, she found this. And Stella, did you do any research on what it was?
I think it's like a two-tailed swallowtail.
So a moth. That's what you're
No,
saying.
it's a swallowtail.
A swallowtail butterfly. I'm trying to get see if my camera can help.
Yeah, it's a two-tailed swallowtail.
I'm obviously very good at the technology here, people. Let's see if Stella can. Oh, there you go. Stella's perfect. So 3-tailed swallowtail butterfly.
Yeah.
And I wonder, Lily, do you know how long it's going to be a caterpillar for?
I don't.
So we love butterflies around here. One, they help to pollinate stuff, but they also are food for birds. I hate to say that, but they do help with food chains. This guy is awesome. Let's see if I can get closer. You guys might notice his mouthpiece there. I have another question. Javi is wondering what eats ladybugs. Other bugs will eat ladybugs. Birds will eat ladybugs. That's a great question. Look, it has cool marks on his back. Maybe, Lily, we can post a picture of what this guy would look like after he goes through his pupa stage.
Yeah, I can do that.
And then what he looks like in his adult, too, because I'm curious. But his mouth is cool. And his feet are cool. But, you know, insects have, remember, with 3 legs, obviously when they're pupa, they don't look like they would as an adult. But their coloring is kind of similar. I'm assuming he is a butterfly that might have yellow and black on him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So very cool. Thanks, Stella.
Really pretty.
And then Tiffany is going to get me a cockroach because she's much braver than I am. Actually, I will be brave, everybody. I won't be like Isaac. So you guys probably can't hear it, but this is a Madagascar hissing cockroach. And when they're not happy, they hiss. You guys can see their cool antenna and their hard body. These are not native to Spokane. They are from Madagascar. We have a lot of them. If you guys are bored and you want to have a pet cockroach, let us know. You can have as many as you want. I love their legs because they're very good at holding on to things, and you guys can maybe see the structures, little jagged things on their legs that kind of act like Velcro for the leaves. His cool antenna. And then they lay eggs like a ladybug does. A bunch of eggs will come out. And then I haven't really studied how long it takes to have babies, but we have lots of babies. I'll see if I can make a sound. Probably doesn't pick up very good on the microphone here. So I'm going to pass this guy back. Maybe Stella, can you grab a walking stick? Thank you. So we also have walking sticks here, guys, or stick bugs. We have a lot of those. These are Stella's favorite. So we're going to look for the 6 legs. One of our adults is missing his leg, though. We're not sure what happened to it, but it happens sometimes. So let's hold the camera here. So here are the walking sticks. You guys can see why they're called stick bugs or walking sticks. They look like sticks and walking. He has antennas, 6 legs. His antennas are very short though, so these are not antennas. His right here is antenna. He's like not sure what's happening. Or she's not sure. This is the guy that's missing a few legs. Sorry, buddy. And walking sticks are also not native to our area. In fact, I'm not really sure where these ones call home. Lily's been doing a bunch of research. Maybe she knows.
Walking sticks are found throughout the world.
Throughout the world.
There are lots of different species of walking sticks.
Okay. Aren't there massive ones that are like...
Yeah, there are ones that are really big. There are ones that look like almost like moss. And they're like...
Oh, cool.
Wavy on the sides.
Awesome. I don't know if you guys can hear Lily back there. So, I'm going to show you guys something you can do at home. Tiffany and Lily have been building this thing, so it's really cool. This is a bug hotel. And let me turn the screen around to make sure you guys are seeing what I'm seeing. So, this is wood. It doesn't necessarily have to be wood. So if you have a cardboard box and that's all you got, that would probably work. We are going to post the plans for this on our Facebook page. But basically, the thing to remember, the best thing about it is free ones work just as good as stuff you buy a bunch of things. So don't go on Amazon and have to buy stuff. But you can put a lot of different stuff in there. So you want to use natural materials because that's what bugs are. Is it upside down?
No.
Oh, okay. The bugs are eating things that are found in your backyard. So leaves, pine cones, bark, twigs. We got some rocks down here. Bamboo. This looks like some grass pieces maybe. There's, like I said before, rocks. You can use shells, twine. There's some plastic pieces down here. Toilet paper rolls. This looks like a coffee can or a candy can, since my daughter says we don't have coffee anymore in cans. Rope, chicken wire, old tires, anything that you might have at home you could possibly use. And then things that you might see in your bug hotel, depending on where you live. If you live in the city or you live out of town, you might see wood lice, which is different than the lice you would have on your head. Snails, bumblebees, hedgehogs. If you see a hedgehog, you let me know. We don't have hedgehogs here in Spokane, but you might see rodents, ants, slugs, butterflies, ladybugs, beetles, frogs, toads, grasshoppers, and worms. So the really cool thing, guys, is if you make this and you don't mind, you can pull out chunks. I'm not going to do it now because it's messy. Pull out a chunk, maybe put a piece of newspaper on the floor or a paper plate. Pull it out, start turning stuff over, and you can start to see things. You have to keep it outside though, because that's where hopefully the bugs live, unless you're at the Outdoor Learning Center and the Madagascar Cockroaches live here. But put this in the backyard, maybe like a week, 2 weeks. We just finished it today. Lily and Tiffany. So we're gonna put it outside, and then maybe we'll make a follow-up video to see who's living in our bug hotel. So it doesn't have to be this fancy, but we are going to put a video or instructions, I'm sorry, so you guys can see how to make a bug hotel. It'll go up tomorrow. And also, we love when you guys share pictures with us. So if you have something cool that you have made or you find a cool bug, please put it in the chat because we miss seeing you and having interaction, and we would love to know what you're doing when you're exploring outside. Or if you have learned anything, let us know. So I'll bring it back to me here. Do we have any more questions in the chat? No?
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's good. Stella, I'm staying right here. I'm gonna stay right here. So, no questions. So we love seeing you guys. Thanks for logging on. Please send your questions our way. We will always answer an email or answer in the chat. Just know that we miss seeing you guys. I keep saying it again. We have one more question.
Do ladybugs eat anything besides aphids?
They are like a vegetarian usually. So they love, as far as bugs wise, yeah, they're pretty good. Beetles are pretty good at eating other little bugs. And obviously they're going to eat vegetables too. So.
That's it.
Okay, thanks guys. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you again next time. Bye.